welcome to a review of the Makeup Revolution Iconic Pro 2 palette. This palette is meant to be a dupe for the Lorac Pro 2 palette, which retails for $42, and this one retails for €8.50, so quite a bit less. With this palette, you're also getting a double-sided brush, which has a small crease brush on the one end and a flat and pretty flimsy eyeshadow brush on the other end. You can maybe see that I've tried using this. And while this is really soft and it is usable if you're in a pinch, I will say that this is not the best brush. Actually, this end is quite usable as a small crease brush, but I find that this brush by itself is not enough to give you a complete eye look. So this end right here is really good if you're trying to warm up the crease, but as your only brush, this will not do. But still, for the very affordable price, I find it nice that you can actually use this brush and you are not bound to toss it. In addition to the brush, for €8.50, you're getting this really big mirror and then 16 shades, all of which have names, but the names are written on this plastic insert. And the special thing about these shades is that the top row is completely matte, whereas the bottom row is shimmery. So you get an equal number of matte and shimmery shades, and I think that makes this palette very travel friendly with the big mirror and then having mattes alongside shimmers, and obviously the fact that all of these shades are on the neutral side and they are very wearable, and even this blue over here, which pops a little bit, is still the most neutral interpretation of a blue you can have. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the swatches. Just like I did in my review of the Death by Chocolate palette, also by Makeup Revolution, I will be using a brush again to do these swatches. And I will start with the upper row of matte. And the first shade over here is called Paper. Okay, this is not visible at all against my skin tone, but this is one of those shades that is really good for highlighting under the brow and for cleaning everything up. From having worn it, I can say that the pigmentation is actually really nice, except that it is way too close to my own skin tone for you to see anything. The second shade is called Chase, and this is kind of a camel brown, a soft camel brown on the warmer side. This is a good transition shade, and the pigmentation, as you could see, is quite nice. The third shade is called Smooth. And this is this beautiful taupey shade. Okay, I need to build it up a little bit. It definitely has some purple into it. A very, very nice crease shade. Okay, this one is a little bit powdery. Although, to be honest, I have worn all of these on my eyes and I did not notice them having any fallout on my eyes. But I normally also tend to tap my brush off before applying it to my eyes. So nice pigmentation again, and keep in mind all of these top ones are mattes, and we all know how hard it is to get nicely pigmented mattes in the drugstore. The fourth shade is called Neutral, but it's written new as in New York and then Troll. And this is an apricot shade, and the pigmentation isn't quite as good as the previous one, but still workable. Fifth up we have One Way, and this is a straight up purple. You know I love purples, don't you? Okay. This builds up really nicely in the crease. I may have had too much makeup remover on my brush from having cleaned it from the previous ones, because I obviously do not want the swatches to be contaminated. But believe me, the pigmentation of this one on the eyes is not disappointing. And a very nice shade of purple as well. Third to last we have New Rules, which is the blue. And the blue is not quite as pigmented as you would expect it to be. I haven't actually used this one in an official look. As you can see, it takes quite a bit of building up to get really even pigmentation. I think I will fiddle just a little bit with my light, because I think that on camera it comes off just a bit brighter than it is in real life. So let me adjust that and I'll be right back. And I don't know why I was so apprehensive about this blue, the one called New Rules, thinking that somehow the pigmentation was not quite up to par. I can tell you that just from trying to clean my brush for the next swatch, this thing really stains the skin. So having seen that, I don't think that pigmentation will be an issue with this shade. Now second to last we have Gray Day over here, which is a lighter gray. That is just one swipe. And it can be built up very nicely, as all of these can. Just a little bit powdery, but nothing serious. And the very last shade on the first row is called Sudden. And this is a darker charcoal shade. This is not black, it's a dark charcoal. So I hope you can see the difference between these two grays, this one being the lighter of the two. Maybe if I just build this last one up some more. So that's the complete first row. Before starting with the swatches of the second row, I have erased the bottom part of the first swatches because I have a feeling I will just run out of space here. So the first shade on the shimmery row is called Only, and it is a white shade. This is straight up white. This is not extraordinarily pigmented. This is really nice for a highlight under the brow or in the inner corner of the eye. I hope you can see how reflective it is. And if you would like to wear it all over the lid, you see that you could build it up to do that. The second shade is a shade that looks tremendously inconspicuous in the pan. It is called Silk, and it looks like your ordinary champagne shade. But let me tell you, on the eye, this is something else. This is a beautiful champagne shade, and it builds up very nicely as well. I think you can already see how reflective and pretty this is. And this one would also be a great option for a highlight under the brow or in the inner corner. But I've actually done a look with this one all over the lid. So beautiful. So I used this one all over the lid and then this purple in the crease. So beautiful, so classy. The third shade is called Awaken, and this is a rose gold. The pigmentation is really nice. You can see this from just one swipe, but I will build it up some more. Isn't that a gorgeous rose gold shade? And here in the middle we have the shade called New Day, which is a bronze shade. So quite a bit darker than Awaken, the rose gold one. Again, this is New Day and this is Awaken. You can see how this one is a lot darker and it goes a lot more into the brownie side of things as opposed to Awaken. 4 more shades to go, and I will do them here because I think my veins showing through at my wrist are getting too much in the way of colors. So this one is called Stealer. This is a beautiful, beautiful taupey shade. I hope that you can see it. It has quite a bit of purple in it. You probably already know by now that I have a weakness for purple. This is possibly my favorite shade out of the whole palette because it reminds me so much of MAC's Satin Taupe. Really, really pretty. Also great for one shadow looks. The gray over here is called Echo. Just a light gray with a blue undertone. Very pretty though. And obviously super reflective. Oh, I just realized that I forgot to apply primer on my arm. So all of these swatches today are actually without primer. Second to last we have a dark hunter green, which is called Ambition. This is a khaki green. It's definitely on the neutral side, and I find that when you blend it out on the eyes, not a lot of green actually shows through. I actually find it to be more of a charcoal shade with a hint of khaki green in it. To be completely honest, this is my least favorite shade out of the whole palette. I'm not calling it ugly or anything, but I just think that on my skin tone, this is not the most flattering of shades. And finally over here we have Faith, which is a burnt plum shade. Really nice pigmentation. You can see just one swipe. And let me build it up a little bit. As you can see, there is quite a bit of variance in the shimmer level of the shades on the last row. So some are super reflective like this gray one, which is called Echo, and also the first 4 over here, which I have swatched next to my wrist. So these are definitely a lot more reflective than some of the shades like these last 2, which are more of a pearlized finish, and this one, which is possibly my favorite shade in the whole palette, which is called Stealer, is somewhere in between the super reflective ones like this Echo and the pearlized ones like the last 2, Ambition and Faith. Still, I really appreciate that variance and shimmeriness because that means that you can use some of these shades to blend through the crease without having it look all crazy, in addition to being able to use them for one shadow looks or just all over the lid in combination with other shades. So once again, these are all the shades. These are the matte ones and then the shimmery ones from the lower row. In terms of final thoughts, I think this palette is a really great one to have, and I especially like the range of shades that is contained in this one. I think this makes it very easy to travel with, and it's so easy to get a range of really pretty looks with these colors. This has enough variety to make it interesting, yet the shades are very wearable, and I'm sure that I will not look crazy wearing them. And plus, they're very easy to blend and they have really nice pigmentation. So if I were to give this one a grade, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of a 10. As I mentioned, not every shade in here is my absolute favorite. So for example, the green one is, well, I'm not crazy about the grays either because I'm not a big gray person. I may wear the blue every once in a while, but I'm probably not going to wear it all the time. I still appreciate having the blue in there because it opens the door on a whole range of possibilities makeup-wise that you wouldn't have if this palette were to contain just browns. Definitely for €8.50, I think this is a steal. I conducted some research before purchasing this one, and I saw some reviews comparing this one to the original Lorac palette. And the general consensus seemed to be that while these shades do not quite measure up to the otherworldly softness of those shades, these are still great quality. And without having had the opportunity to try the Lorac one, I can definitely confirm the fact that these are very good quality, not just from these swatches, but from having worn this one numerous times. I did notice a little bit of fading with the lighter lid colors after 10 hours of wear, but hey, 10 hours of wear is a lot. And to be completely honest, on that day I had gone kind of hard with the moisturizer on my eyes, so that may have shortened the wear time of my eyeshadow as well. So overall, I think that if you will purchase this one, you will be really satisfied. If you found this review helpful, please give it a quick thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It is of course completely free to do all of those things, and it really does help me out a lot when you do it. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!